Hello, thank you for joining me. My name is Debbie and the project today is Urban Threads UT19375 Don't Get Snippy. If you enjoy my channel, please like and subscribe. It does help me a great deal to grow. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to do a little search. I'm going to show you how to find it. There will be a link in the description, but I'm going to show you how to get to it online if you have no idea who this website is or anything. So I have already done this intro. This is the 12th time. Yes, I stumble over words. I forgot to shut the door. My son came through coughing so hard I thought he was going to lose a lung. You know, things like that. So it's already in the list. Urban Threads is the name of the site. For me, it comes up first, but like I said, I've already done this intro. This is the 12th time, so that might be why it's first on my list now. Yeah, I'm also already signed in. You can sign up with them, and in your profile, you can put in information about the machine you use, the size of the field, that kind of stuff. And it comes in handy, all right? Now, if you put in Don't Get Snippy, I'm going to show you this. It doesn't actually pull it up. It's not in the tags. I don't know. I don't build websites, so I don't know why. But if you put in scissors or that UT number, that's why I said the number with the when I was saying the name of it, the design. If you punch in that number, it'll pull it up also. It'll pull up just it. But I like punching in the scissors because it shows me everything they've got with scissors in the picture. Isn't this just... This is something. I mean, I like this. I like this. If you're wanting just scissors, look, $2. That's all it is. $2. Special shears. And they're different than the ones that are in this particular word, but it's still, they're there. It's cool. It is cool. They've got a crafter in training for, you know, say a child. I like this, the scissors in the mist. It's just, you know, like the reverse. So the thread is all around the edges. I'm so sorry. My oldest son caught something at work. You know, just cold or whatever. He's above me, coughing a lung out right now. And that's why I had to stop it the last time. I had forgot to close the door, and he came down and got right outside of the door and was coughing so hard. And I went, okay, 11th time? Nope. Anyways, so this one, as you can see, I hearted it because, you know, I don't know how many video tries ago it popped up when I put in the scissors and I went, oh, I like that. I don't know. Octopi are interesting. And also multitasking, screwing up multiple things at a time. The more things I try to do at once, the more I screw up. So fits me to a T. But I don't know how to do just one thing at a time. I'm not good at that. I mean, as a child, you got to do just one thing at a time, but boy, as an adult, if you get to do only one thing at a time, you're a special person, I think. Anyways, that's a tangent. I'm trying not to do that. We're 4 minutes in and I'm yakking. Don't get snippy, just click on it. The picture, boom, it pops up. This is one of the things I really love about their size. Because I put in the information about my sewing field and such, it tells me this one is too big. Oh, I can still buy it. I can add it to the cart. But they're forewarning me that I wouldn't be able to stitch it out on with the machine that I told them I have. If I put in the largest I'm able to do, mine is 6 by 10 is my largest field I can do on the Baby Lock Flourish 2. Now it's telling me I've already bought it. So, don't buy it again. You've got it. Just download it. See? And a download link. very easily maneuvered around this site. I really do like the way they're set up. And I love their designs. They were doing this sketching stuff and that long before others. I've been doing this for 25 years, and when I first started seeing their designs pop up, I belonged to all these embroidery groups, and people would say, hey, check out this, and you'd click the link. It was cool. Yahoo groups. Yeah, I loved it. We learned so much from each other. And their designs were different than everybody else's. Yeah, I liked them. I found them interesting. But all the same, I'm doing it again. So on their website, right here, it tells me that my preferred format is PEZ. The formats available for download after purchase, all of them. See, I can download anything I want. But I only want the PEZ, so that's all I do. You only get the one size in this purchase. They have sales all the time. And they had a sale recently. I don't even mind. I bought this design a few months ago. But I just now I'm getting around to doing the t-shirt because, you know, I'm sitting here with a sweat jacket on over top of a long sleeve shirt. But part of that is because I caught that stupid cold and I've got the chills. But it's cold outside. It wants to be winter forever. So I want this on a t-shirt, and I haven't worried about doing it because it hadn't gotten warm. I'm going to do it now. And first we test stitch. I've never used it before, so first I test stitch. When I don't test stitch, I usually regret it. So let's test stitch this. It tells me how much the stitch count is. Yes, that looks like a lot of stitch count, but you got to remember that the words in it, if you have words in your design and they're satin stitch, it's going to have a lot of stitches. It's going to up that stitch count tremendously. Whereas the scissors are in that sketch design style. And I really find that attractive. My shirt's going to show through. I'm going to put it on a royal purple t-shirt. So that's going to pop through. I am not using these colors. It's going on a royal purple t-shirt. So, you know, I'm not using purples and pinks. I'm going to use grays and a black. And the words are going to be done in coral for my t-shirt. In the stitch out, I was talking about it, and I used a seafoam. But, you know, like I said, this is the 12th attempt at the intro. I gave up and did the stitch out and recorded it, and I've already done the outro and blah, 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 blah. And now I've come back, and this one had better work. I don't want to do another intro. I don't want to. I ramble too much. Stop. Here we go. If you hover over this little thread, it's a link. Color change sheet. So not only does it tell you on the design page how many color changes there are, you can click on this and it pops open this. Now we can do a thread exchange, and I can click this box and it'll pop up right down here. This is the best part. I mean, I love this. So it's showing it in Madeira. And I could say, ooh, I have brother threads, and search for threads to match. And it'll try to match up these colors. That comes in very handy for me if it's needs skin tones. I have a hard time getting those right. I'm pretty good with an eye with color, but skin tones, you know, you're wanting just that little bit of a variance for the cheeks, that kind, and they tend to look like they're from the 80s and I am, you know, hey, that was when I was young. I was 20, in my 20s in the 80s, so yeah, that was my time. So I'm telling you, we wore makeup. The cheeks were vivid. The eyes jumped out at you. It was more than the 70s. In the 70s, our eye makeup was like, say you wore light blue, heavy, thick, all over. But anyways, I'm doing it again. This I find very useful for when I'm doing something that I'm trying to match the colors up on. I love that about their color sheet. Click that button and pop it up, select it, try to match them up if that's what you're wanting to do. I'm not going to use the colors that they're telling me to use. You don't have to. There's no rule that says you have to. Now you can pop this and it's going to go straight to a printer. Boom. And I can tell it to print. And it's going to print it how you left it. So if you want all of this stuff on here, and you click that, see? Boom. It's all there, and it would print it with all of that on there. You can do it as a PDF, which means you're going to save it, and it'll pop it up trying to save it. I don't know why it popped open my recipes, but okay. I've had a recipe file I've been adding to since the 90s, so yeah, it's pretty big. Do I ever cook them? Well, actually, yes, some of them I do. But I also have them. I'm doing it again. I'm sorry. So you can also, on the same switch, uncheck anything that you don't need. So if this is all you're wanting, that's all you need. You can also download a text file, and it will literally just have these words, see? And then you can right-click, print, boom, and that's what it's going to print. Easy peasy. So just hit the back button. We're back to the design. This is the design we're going to stitch out. I'm going to be using grays for metal and black so that it goes, I want it to look like antique scissors I used as a child. When I was young, when I was first starting to sew. And I'm going to do a stitch out. My test stitching is going to be on a piece of knit fabric that I purchased on clearance. It's best if you test out on fabric to match what you're going to use it on as close as possible. We can't always do that. I understand that. But I have this, so I used it. It makes it better. Also, I'm putting it on a t-shirt. I didn't want cutaway on the back. I know everybody says, oh, you got to use cutaway. There's a reason I picked a design with the sketch look. They're lighter weight. It won't be bulletproof. I don't want it bulging. I don't want it crinkling. I just want a nice lightweight design in the middle of my chest on a lightweight t-shirt. So I'm testing it out with 2 layers of wash away and that knit fabric. And we will see if this design will do what I want it to do. If it doesn't, I can use cutaway. It's not the end of the world. I would just like to not use the cutaway on a lightweight fabric, if I can. So let's get to the sewing machine and see how this stitches out. If you are still here, thank you. I am immensely grateful. If you don't want to watch the stitch out, you just want to see how it turned out at the end, just fast forward to the end. I would put the markers in if I knew how. I don't know how, and if I ever learn, or the software I use was what I could afford, and it doesn't do it. So, if you know of one that does it, that is easy to learn, because my brain isn't as swift as it once was, you let me know in the comments and I will see if I can figure it out. But unfortunately, at this point, I only know how to use this software, and it doesn't let me put in those markers. So just fast forward. That's what I do. Even when they say, oh, go to the marker, I'm watching it on a TV usually. So I just hit the fast forward button until it gets to the point where I want to see it. I like watching the stitch out. I usually fast forward through all the talking. I mean, I just talked 16 minutes. Do you really want to sit through 16 minutes of yakking before you get to the content? Okay. Thank you so much for sticking through with me. Let's get to the stitch out.
We're all set up at the machine. I have it pulled up on my screen. Let's hit in edit. Now we're going to turn you slightly. I'm not sure if you can see everything, but I'm going to try. Okay? Let me move it. It wasn't really on a telephoto lens a whole lot, so it's not going to do a whole lot there. But, so, if we hit that, now it's going to show you in your hoop where it's going. I am testing it, and I managed to get my hands on, I don't remember, I think it's like 4.5. It was the end of a bolt, and they clearanced it out for $2. So I purchased it so that when I test stitch for something that's going to go on a t-shirt, it'll be a more accurate test stitch. So this is knit on 2 layers. Can you even see it? Let me tilt you a little more. I've got 2 layers of wash away and 1 layer of my knit. It's, you know, as you can see, it's a lightweight t-shirt material. So I'm going to test it on that. Now we hit OK. So now it's all ready to embroider. Okay. We go embroider. And once you see all those threads showing on your screen, you know that it's ready. So when I hit the foot down and the start button, it will start sewing. All right. It shows you thread colors. You can really use anything you want, and I am not going with pinks and such in my threads. They're in my scissors. I'm going to do 2 shades of gray. Not a whole lot different. I couldn't find my real light one. And then black for the handle parts. Just like some scissors I had way back when I started sewing. And then the Don't Get Snippy is going to be in a pale seafoam, because the t-shirt I'm going to put it on is a darker shade of purple. Yeah, I know. I like purple. I'm embracing my old age, okay? So, I'm going to move the camera again, so we'll just bleep past all this. Alright, I have the machine threaded up with the darker gray for the blade part of the scissors. Yeah, whatever. Let's see how it stitches. Color 2, I'm going to, I have to get on the other side of the wire. I had to plug the camera in because, you know, I have a cheap camera and the battery keeps going dead. So if this bleeps, I'll trim it out. Now, Oh, my back room right now, my sewing room is really kind of cramped. It happens. I was hoping to put this off until after it was all done, but with the holiday, everything seems to be delayed. Oh, oh well, it happens. I had to change my options. Well, I already spoke about that. I'm cutting all this out anyways. Alright. Oh, it keeps coming out of there. I have got to. You just pull it through, get the knot passed, and trim. I used to be, oh no, I have to save all that thread, make it last. Yeah, after almost 20, well, 25 years of embroidery thread, and I've still got some of my originals. I'm not going to worry about those few feet I waste now. Okay, now it's going to do the second thread stitching. And as you can see, it's an open work. So it's stitching up at this point. It's looking beautiful. I think it's going to work great on my t-shirt. Yeah, for some reason my camera has started to shut off at 15 minutes. So this design is 29 minutes. I'm going to have a stop at some point. I have to keep watching. All right, let's get color 3 set, which is going to be black for mine. Now that last part, the words, takes 20 minutes, so I'll probably be speeding that way up and cutting bits and pieces. I know I try to show it all when I'm doing the embroidery, but 20 minutes is a long time to ask you to sit and watch the machine stitch. This part is 4 minutes. Oops, it was already down, and it's going. Okay, I'm so sorry about all this. I don't know what's going on with that camera. It was charged and plugged in, and still it played like it recorded like 2 minutes and shut off and started and stopped and started and stopped. Anyhow, I now have my phone hooked up in here and my microphone hooked up to it. It actually said it's recording audio through the USB-C plug, so the microphone at least is working. So let's see if we can get the rest of this stitched out. done. Let's get this hoop off the machine. Oh, that turned out pretty.
So here's our design all finished up. I have trimmed down my backing. I started to wet it, and so I've got it folded in on itself, covering it up because it would stick to my table. Anyhow, so it's stitched out beautifully. This is, I mean, no cutaway, no nothing. You could, if you didn't want, any wavers at all, I don't mind, because I like a lightweight design on a t-shirt. I don't want all that bulky cutaway behind it. And that's why I had thought, ooh, this would probably work perfect on a summer shirt. Because the bulkiest part of it is the satin stitch, and even that is not bad. There's not a lot of little threads for me to cut. There's one right there. I'll trim off. I mean, at this point, it's not a big deal. This is a test stitch. Turned out glorious. I'm telling you, except I'm going to use black in both of these. This is split up, so you can use, a different shade. And if you went with the colors that they used, it's very lively. I was just trying to go with, I used to have a pair of antique scissors. Well, they weren't antiques when I was using them. I'm an antique. But they had black handle, the black finger holes. I don't remember them having this. Barber shears had that. But, nice little add-on, I guess. I don't know. I'm sure there's scissors out there that do have them. We were kind of poor, so our scissors wouldn't have been top of the line. But anyhow, I'm going to go with this gray and this gray here. That's what I'm going to do. So it'll be the darker and then the medium. And then this, I decided this was a seafoam I used, and I think it's too close to the grays. I'm going to go with coral. So I'm glad I did do it. Now, the shirt it's going on is a royal purple. It has not been stitched out. If I get an opportunity to get that done on the shirt before I edit this, I will put a picture of that in at the end of it. Right now, my husband is redoing my sewing table. I had been saving to get this really gorgeous sewing table, and I had sold machines, and I sold my Ankersham, and I finally had enough, and they raised the price. And I went, it would be a tight squeeze anyways. I would have to always have my serger, off to the side, and I love having my serger out now. For years, it was in a closet, and it never got used. So I had bought a small roll-around table that I could put the serger on, and it was going to sit at the end of the table with my sewing machine in it, a sewing cabinet kind of a thing. But when I measured, it was going to be right up against the shelving unit I have all my fabric on. And I decided, I'm not going to save any longer. I'm going to just have him take this huge counter table that he had made me that extended the whole wall, cut it down to the size for the sewing machine, and for $200, actually it was $217, and I think a little bit of change. I ordered it today. I bought the hydraulic lift thing, and he's going to cut a hole in the countertop and add that hydraulic lift and a board, and voila, I have a sewing machine that can sink down in for when I'm quilting. I have always wanted that, and we will do it this way. And I don't even have to worry about when I use my roller cutter on that thing. It's an old counter, literally, from a motel. They had remodeled, and they had all their old dressers and counters that they used to use in the rooms set out by the dumpster. My husband went in and asked if he could have some of it, and they said, sure. So he grabbed one of the dressers and one of the counters and created me a unit. It had drawers and everything, but the drawers were so big and deep that I would lose things in them. So last year he took all those out and made the table a few inches shorter so I could put a shelving unit in for fabric. And now this year he is cutting, he's already cut it down. He's putting wheels on the legs because I told him it's important that I be able to roll it out so I can kind of butt it up against the other table. The small one I bought, it does have the flap. And I can set the serger inside of it, open up the flap, and use it as another tabletop behind this one when I do a quilt. And for once in my life, I'll have the quilt not hanging off or bunched up kind of a thing. I'm so looking forward to the first quilt I make when this is all done. But I moved everything out of my way so I could get to the embroidery machine just so I could make a video. And it wasn't even to get my t-shirt made because it got cold again. Once it said spring, Michigan decided, oh, it's time for winter now. So, oh my. Thank you so much for having joined me today. If you like my videos, please click like and subscribe. I know I never ask. And I always mean to do it at the beginning and I always forget. I could write myself a note, I guess. Maybe I'll remember then. And I hope to see you next time, right here on DebV channel. Bye-bye.